Welcome. We're really glad you're here. Around our family, the door is usually open, the table's usually full, and somehow there's always room for one more.
This podcast is about making room. Room for faith, for family, for laughter, for the messy and the meaningful. It's about inviting you into our family culture and letting you experience the joy and chaos of a big family right alongside us.
We're moms, daughters, sisters, and friends.
All in different seasons of life, but we're all gathered around the same table.
So pull up a chair, take a deep breath, and stay a while, because love multiplies when we make room, and there is always one more seat at the table. Hello, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Room for More podcast. I'm Noelle, and today I'm joined with all of my sisters and my mom. I'll let you guys say your names so we can identify which voices are whose.
Hi, I'm Faith.
I'm Grace.
Felicity.
And I'm Patricia.
And this week we wanted to take you guys through a fun episode. Last week was a little bit more deep with the Lent stuff, but we got a lot of great feedback that it was an awesome episode. I don't know if you guys did, but I got a couple people telling me they really loved it, which is awesome. Thank you, Faith, Felicity, and Mom, for taking that one for the team. This week we're going to do a fun episode just to lighten things up a little bit. We're going to talk about our best, most favorite vacations as a family that we've taken and our least favorite vacations that we've taken. So we're just kind of going to dissect our vacations and say which ones we liked, which ones we didn't like, and that probably will vary by person. I'm curious to hear about everybody's different experiences. I think we kind of have similar ones, but also people have different perspectives. So does anybody want to kick us off with one they remember in particular?
I can't even remember all of them. I feel like we should just get them out there first before.
All right. Okay. So we have Chicago. We went to Chicago. We went to Arizona. Well, Felicity wasn't there for that one. We went to Steamboat. We went to a couple times. Steamboat, Sylvester, Florida. When Austin and I lived in Florida, everybody came down and visited. And we went to
Boulder,
Colorado.
And we also went
Kansas
to go
City.
see your aunt in Colorado, Mom. And where was that at?
Fort Collins.
Yeah, that was a different trip. And then we went to Omaha to the Stay Bridge Inn.
That was a family reunion. We
Yeah,
also went to
a
Fort
couple times.
Robinson. We went to Fort Robinson for a family reunion, remember? And
I
here in
didn't go there.
Nebraska.
And Estes.
We went to Wisconsin for a family reunion. We went to Dallas. We've gone to a lot of places where our family's at because I feel like that's just
New York.
easiest.
Yeah.
New York, yeah.
Some of us. We've been
The Holy Land.
The Holy Land. That was a big one.
Is that a vacation?
I think so.
pilgrimage, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Trip.
Poland, yeah. Well, it's hard because there's not honestly a ton of vacations where everybody makes it. It's actually kind of rare that everybody's on a vacation now. I think in the past it was more we were all there, but it's been a while.
So
Since Arizona,
let's
I
say
think.
if we have 10, if we have 10 vacations, can we rank them top 10 all the way down to the least favorite? I think we could easily have 10 vacations we just talked about.
You mean everybody writes them down on their notes and labels them, then we'll talk about it?
Or we
I
could
would
rank
have a
them.
hard
I
time.
think if we rank them, then that would be
What if we just do top 5, maybe? That sounds
Yeah.
so overwhelming.
okay.
Okay.
25 vacation spots. Okay, so maybe everybody get your notes app out, take 5 minutes to just think through it and label your favorite. Even if it's not the whole family, that's fine. It can be with one person or whatever.
So top 5 and bottom 5.
How about just one's
I
the
would say-
best
Yeah.
and then going down?
I would say
five.
one's the best, 5 is the worst, but then a couple in
Okay.
between.
Yeah.
Dang, this is going to be hard.
I know.
Okay, I'm setting a timer for 5 minutes.
Just
so
don't let yourself overthink it. Just
here we go.
so to clarify, we're doing our top 5 favorite.
No.
Yeah.
It's well, yeah. I mean, it could be, but I would say I would do 1 to 5. Your 5 is the least favorite,
Right.
and
But
1
it's
is
not
your top.
it's not the worst vacation. But
No,
just
it
if I
is.
had to choose.
How do you do that then?
Yeah.
Well, I
I'm
was
just
just-
doing
I
them
mean-
ranking my top 5.
Yeah,
Me
that's
too.
Well, how are we gonna talk about our bottom 5?
Why don't we
Well,
just
we can- we
choose
can
our
rank our
absolute
bottom
worst? Can we
What?
just do our top 5 and then choose our worst vacation and we can each share on our
Yeah,
worst?
yeah,
We don't.
yeah, okay.
Not everybody
Yeah.
needs 5 terrible vacations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had 5 absolutely disgusting ones that we don't want to
Yeah,
talk
I don't
about.
think we have that many bad ones.
I know. Oh my god! I only remember 4 vacations. I'm so confused.
I like all the memories it brings up.
They're not your least favorite.
I know,
though.
but
Okay. Because
I-
I'm thinking my
worst.
first 5 are very closely yeah.
Yeah, but my
No.
one that I absolutely hate, I can't think of, to be honest.
Well, you don't have to absolutely hate it. It can just be your least favorite. It doesn't mean you have to hate it. You had to hardly endure it.
a painful vacation.
Yes.
2 minutes left.
That's okay. I mean,
I guess I'll have
you
6.
can always revise it. Can I lower this a little? Are we up?
1 minute, unless everybody's done.
We're done.
I'm done.
Well, we're waiting for no one then. Okay. Well, I have my top 5 and my worst vacation. Does anybody want to start with their? What if we go like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? Like your 5th. We'll start at like the 5.
Sure.
For 5, I have the Florida vacation to Anna Maria Island. There's some controversy.
I ranked that as my top one. I think
Me
that was
too.
my favorite trip.
I did too.
I put that as number 4.
Is yours on the list, Mom?
I had it on number 2.
Florida.
Maybe it was because you lived there.
Yeah, you lived
Okay,
there.
yeah,
That's
let me
different.
explain. So the reason why I have it as number 5 is because it was super fun and like the family all had a great time. But I lived there. I lived like an hour south of where everybody was staying, maybe like 45 minutes in Sarasota. And so it was hard because I had to also work when you guys were there. So I had to like wake up early, go do my like sales rounds all over the city of Sarasota and then like drive back up there. So I didn't have like really a vacation experience. It was more of like I was really excited to see the family, but it wasn't like a vacation per se.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah,
was like
I think-
fun, but also stressful for me.
I think Felicity and I should say why we ranked it number 1. I ranked it number 1 because I feel like, well, first of all, we were staying on this like kind of island type of thing.
Anna Maria Island, Florida.
Yes. And so we had like a really fun Airbnb that everybody fit in, and it was like a block away from the beach. And so we could just like walk to the beach whenever. We had a couple bikes that we could ride around. And it just was like it was the most stress free, I think, vacation we ever took. Everybody was just like on beach time. We didn't really have a lot planned, but I think that's why I loved it so much.
Yeah, I
We
would
also
say
did
along
a
the
photo shoot.
Yeah, we
Yeah, we
have
did.
Family photo
photos
shoot.
documenting that trip.
Yeah. I would say along the same lines. Like, it was just so relaxed and it was so fun to be there. Everybody was having a good time. I don't think there were any like huge blow up fights while we were there.
No, I don't remember any.
Yeah, and we did like a couple, like we did that parasailing, which is like one of my core memories. That was so cool, very unique. I loved that. So I tied that with my honeymoon. I don't know if that counts, but both of those were
Wow.
like the same vibe of like super relaxed, like
Yeah.
just the best vacation vibe. Like, it's a dream. I want to go back to both.
I wonder too if the good experience of that tied in at all. That was during 2020.
I was just
So I
gonna
think
say
our
that, yeah.
family was like really, really tight then because we had a lot of time together and it was just like an extended vacation for like literally months. And I think probably by then we were pretty relaxed. I mean, people were
Yeah.
back in school. And so I think there was some like zooming into classes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
then. I
But
don't
it
know,
was
maybe I'm
also
wrong, but-
like Florida was also a lot more lax than other states during that time. So it was very like, oh my gosh, you don't have to like wear your mask everywhere. Like, this is going to be controversial. I know, guys. I wear my mask when I was supposed to. But like, you didn't have like the same restrictions. So it felt a little bit more like carefree. And like, whereas other places you were more anxious, like going places. And there's something about that I think also tied into the time.
Yeah.
And we were mostly outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, from that standpoint, you didn't have to worry at all.
It was
Right,
also
yeah.
so beautiful there. Like, it was very like, what do you call that? Like, more nice and wealthy. I don't know what the term is for that, but it was just very like upscale. Maybe that's what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say. So it was very beautiful. And yeah, we were so close to the beach. We had a lot of fun time at the Airbnb. We rode bikes around. We went
Got
to
acai
donut
bowls,
shops. Yeah,
coffee.
it was so fun.
And
And
that
just
was
flying with our
before-
whole family was fun.
I think
Besides me.
also it was so low stress because that was before anybody had kids. And so the
Yeah.
youngest was Sienna, who was like, I don't know, everybody was self sufficient on that trip.
Well, she
And
would have
so,
been 5.
It was 7.
yeah.
Wait.
She would have been
She's
She's
5.
11 now, and it
Yeah.
was
She was
6 years
5.
ago.
Yeah, so she was
It
5.
was little.
But it was
Wait, in
just
2020? Oh yeah, she would have
She
been
was going to
5.
start kindergarten that year.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah. So I think that's why it was so like stress free. Like we didn't have a lot of responsibilities to think
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
It's a great
I
point.
remember we were talking about wedding planning at the time for you in Austin, Noelle.
Yeah, because it was like September you guys came. We were getting married in February of 2021. So it was like 6 months before our wedding.
That's
crazy
crazy.
that-
No one was married yet.
Nope.
It's crazy
we're
that
all-
you guys have been married for that long, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. 5 years, baby. We just celebrated our 5-year anniversary.
Awesome.
Okay. So
Yeah.
next person want to say your 5?
My 5 was um, Dallas for Taylor Swift.
Oh, I forgot about
Ooh,
that.
that's
That
a
wasn't
good
even like on
one.
I
my
did
radar.
too.
Oh, me too.
It was her Red concert,
Yeah,
wasn't
Red
it?
Tour.
Yeah.
That was like the best one.
Yeah, I will say we went to Dallas on family vacation a lot because mom has a really close aunt that lives there who just basically is our aunt too, even though
Shout
she's
out to Aunt Valerie.
yeah, she's technically our great aunt, but it doesn't feel that way because they're like the same age. But yeah, I think we always loved going there because it was just always so relaxing, but we also had a familiar place. We always stayed and they have like a pool in their backyard and I don't
It
know.
feels like a little
it's just like
vacation just going there.
yeah, but it's also we're like so comfortable there because we've been there so many times. And yeah, that was such a fun trip going to. I think some of us went to that concert. I went twice to that concert, once
too,
in
yeah.
Omaha. Yeah. And then in
Dallas.
Dallas. So that was kind of fun too to see that concert twice. But
We like
to
made
see it with
posters
like
for
our
it.
cousin. And yeah, it was so much fun.
I was just going to say, I remember doing the posters. I remember,
The chalk, our hair
Chalk in our
chalk.
hair.
Going to
and the red
Whataburger afterwards.
lipstick, the Keds,
Yeah.
Yeah, the
the,
Keds. Oh my gosh,
all the
Taylor Swift
things.
Keds. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did a lot of shopping that trip.
Yeah. It was just
We
fun to
did.
pick out your outfits. And your little cousin came with us too. She was probably like 5 or 6 at the time.
Yeah, I think she had a
So-
broken arm. Didn't
did
she have
have
like
a
a
broken
lime
arm.
green cast at the concert? I like remember in that photo.
Yeah. I just remember that being a really fun trip.
I think as a mom too, like that would be such a fun thing to do with your girls. You know, like I think you have a different perspective on it because we were younger. Like I think I was in 8th grade, maybe freshman in high school.
So you would have been 8, 7, 6,
Yeah.
and
I was
third.
little. I honestly
City?
don't remember it very well. I remember the American Girl All Store better than
Oh,
the
yeah.
concert.
That was a big part of it too.
Yeah.
Yes, I do
It
remember
was
that.
really fun. But yeah, I would agree now being a mom, like doing a concert or the American Girl All Store with your little girl or little girls, like
It'd be
that
so
is
fun.
Yeah, so sweet.
Yeah, it's very
I can't
special.
imagine. Yeah. I can't imagine having 4 girls in a row. How did you do it, mom? Sounds so fun, but so crazy.
Yeah.
I always wanted that. Honestly, I remember thinking
Oh.
as a little girl that I wanted to have several little girls in a row and dress them
Aw.
alike. So
And
I
you did it.
Dream come true.
That you did.
Okay, Grace, do you have a number 5?
Yes. My number 5 was the New York City trip we went on with mom, dad, and then Noelle and Faith. And it was such a fun trip. I put it lower on my list because it wasn't like a full family vacation. So I feel like I don't know. It was so fun. And it's great to have like the smaller grouping trips too. But I don't feel like it's the same as having everyone together. But
Yeah,
that was a really
it's
fun
true.
trip.
Yeah, I actually ranked that as my number 5 too. I think for the same reasons. But yeah, because I've been to New York a couple different times, and I think that one was a lot of fun. We went to the Phantom of the Opera, and since mom and I had already been to New York before, and Noelle had gone with dad before, we kind of had some previous experience in New York, and so we kind of knew what places we wanted to see and show Grace, and she hadn't been there before. And we went to like a Husker bar there for one of the Husker games, and that was really fun to get a little taste of home in the big city. But yeah, I agree. That one was a lot of fun. I just wish that Felicity would have been there and some of the other
that's what I was
siblings.
going to say. And here we are going back to New York and still no
Felicity
Felicity.
hasn't
It
even
makes
been
me
there?
sad.
I've never been there.
Well,
I
so you
haven't
should
been.
come.
No,
You should
I
actually
cannot.
come.
You
No, yes,
cannot.
you can.
I agree.
No, I
Why?
can't.
You should leave Eden with
Because we just
Austin.
can't right now. What? No, it's more financially that I wouldn't work.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
But
We're going to go
maybe
to New York
eventually
all
in the
together
future.
someday.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
about
give me
your-
a couple of years and I'll come.
What about your credit card points? Can you get there with that?
Well, our credit card points were stocking for our vacation in August,
right.
September. So
Yeah, that's hard.
that's the plan. Yes.
Yeah, that was my plan too until I just spontaneously decided to not have that
Like
be the
this
plan.
instead.
It's fine.
It's fine.
That's
I
too
put New York
funny.
City as my number 2 actually because I had a little bit different of an experience than you guys did. I think when I think of New York, I think of the 2 times I've been there, like not just the one. So I went with dad when I was in 3rd grade, and it was like such a really cool experience for me as a 3rd grader because for my birthday, he surprised me with tickets to fly to New York City, which was like, thinking back on that, I'm like, that's such a huge birthday present for a 3rd grader. I've never gotten anything compared to that in that time. And I think it's probably just because dad was going to go visit his friend there. And then like it lined up with timing and whatever. But it was such a fun experience to just have it be me and dad. And I remember like at that time, American Airlines was doing like chocolate chip cookies fresh on the plane. Like they would bake them on the airplane so you could
Oh my
smell them all through the
gosh.
plane. It was so good. They're like gooey and
I
soft and you get them with
absolutely do.
milk.
Yeah,
It's like, I don't know why they don't do that anymore. It's probably a fire hazard or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really fun. Even though I had nobody to do my hair the whole time, so I looked like a rag muffin. And then my experience going there with mom and dad and Grace and Faith, I actually went there earlier than they did a few days because I was there at the AdPR school. Shout out to the University of Nebraska Lincoln AdPR College of Journalism. They're amazing, and I had an experience or an opportunity to go tour a bunch of different like really cool businesses in New York City. So we toured Spotify headquarters, Google headquarters, some other ad agencies, and like probably 8 to 10 different places. And I went with one of my friends in the journalism school. So that was really fun to do that before mom and dad and Faith and Grace came a little bit later.
It was a really fun trip. I just remember, if there was anything bad about that vacation, it was because the fact that I forgot to bring the tickets. Do you guys remember that?
yeah.
There was a whole fiasco for the
Yeah, that was,
Phantom
like,
of the
panic
Opera.
mode. Yeah.
I made it a little stressful, but in the end, it all worked out.
Yeah, we made it there. We got there before the curtain opened. Is that the right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm glad things now are just like a little code on your phone, so you don't have to have the
Yeah.
printed off ticket.
Yeah, you had to like print them. I think we went in 2018. No,
Yeah, it would have been 2018,
8 years ago now.
November of 2018.
So Felicity, what was your number 5?
I put my number 5 as Chicago, and I don't know, my opinion of it might be different than your guys because I was quite a bit younger, but
Mm.
I loved that trip. I thought it was great. I don't have like a ton of really good memories or like clear memories of it, but something that I do remember is getting to work with the Missionaries of Charity there. That was like a highlight of my trip, and it really stuck out to me to get to have that experience. Went to their convent and we went to mass with them. I believe it was mass. I can't remember for sure. I know we were in their chapel and we had a meal with them. And then we also got to help prepare a meal with them in a soup kitchen and then serve in the soup kitchen, which was so cool to do in a big city like that. So that was very unique.
I put Chicago as number 3 on my list. And I would say for the same reasons. And that trip, we had gotten in trouble before the trip. So dad took away all of our cell phones, which actually, like, in hindsight was like just created so many beautiful memories because we were all very present on that trip and didn't have distractions. And then I remember we went to the Chicago Bulls game on that
Yeah.
trip too.
Yes,
That was so fun.
Yeah.
that was
Okay.
fun.
I have to throw out a random memory that I don't even know if you guys remember, but you will when I say it. So, okay, when we were in Chicago, I agree with you guys. I ranked it 4, but in comparison to what Felicity said, I have a lot of like really like, what's the word? Like vivid memories from this trip, I think, because we had no electronics. And so we probably have a lot less pictures, but I have a lot more memories of it. Okay, do you guys remember we went to like Macy's to the makeup department? And
Remember
we were
that.
like, oh my gosh, we can just get our makeup done here for I think it was the day that we were going to the Chicago Bulls game. And so Noelle sat down in this chair and was like, okay, I went like a fun like eyeshadow look that I haven't done before. And I want you to teach me how to do it. She's like, I really want a smoky eye look. And the girl's like, got it. I can do a smoky eye look. So Noelle sits there for a few minutes and gets this smoky eye look. And then she looks over. What do you guys think? This girl had literally, there was no smoke to the eye at all. It was just straight black.
It was like 2 black eyes.
Eyeshadow.
She looks like a raccoon.
I don't know why I don't remember that.
And we
I
all
don't
looked
remember
at her
that
like,
either.
I totally-
if you could ask her to tone it down a little bit.
No, and then I remember we like had to go on the elevator and like on our way back to the hotel. And we get in the elevator and these people look over and they're like, you could totally tell they did a double take. They're like, what is going on with her makeup? It was so bad. And I don't remember if you ended up leaving it on or if you took it off.
I don't think
I
it was in
remember
for the rest
Chicago
of the day.
Bulls pictures.
Okay, so I remember feeling bad. It's like when you go to the nail salon and you like know that they messed it up, but then you like kind of feel bad telling them that you don't like it and you don't want to pay for them to redo it. So you just like are like, oh, I love it. It's great. That's what I was telling the lady. And I remember I was like kind of freaking out, but I was also trying to talk myself into liking it. Sophie and Grace were like, wait, you should like lighten this up a little bit. And I was like, no, it looks perfect. It's great. And internally, like I was freaking out. But on the external side, I was like trying, you know how like I do that where I'm like, it's fine, it'll be great. Like I just
You wanted to reassure the lady.
yeah. But even like when we left, I was like, guys, it's fine. It's just a different look.
Yeah, I remember that.
And come to find out,
I
like
think
when I
Dave and
had
I were laughing, and you're like, I think it looks so good.
You're mad at us more than anything.
I wish we had a picture of that. Do we?
You're like, this is a total slay, and we're like, yeah, okay.
And like come to find out, my like color scheme is autumn, which black is like the opposite of what looks anything good on me. Like anything black makes me look terrible. So yeah, it's funny. That was a very
so
fun
funny.
memory.
I had Chicago as my best vacation.
Me
and
too.
I think I remember specifically when we were making the meal with the Missionaries of Charity, and they had all these other volunteers there that were very, very engaging and super interesting. I remember specifically one man that was blind, and we had really good conversation with him. And God showed up in his providence for us that day because we were talking to him about how we wanted to go. What is that called?
Willis Tower.
The Willis Tower. We wanted to go there. And we were like, it's really
yeah.
expensive though. That's going to be a lot
For
for
like
our
10
family.
of us. Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't remember how much it was, but it was very pricey. And he was
It's like $25 a person or something like that.
yeah. And he was like, don't worry. I got you covered. I'm getting you free tickets. I have a friend. I know somebody that
He got
knows
us
somebody.
VIP tickets too, so
Yes.
we got to like get in
Cut the
front of
line,
everybody
yeah.
and like
Wait,
yeah.
was that the glass?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, we took that
The
picture on the
huge
glass.
tower. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just so cool because one of the things that Dad and I have always tried to live by in terms of like our marriage is that God can never be outdone in generosity.
Mhm.
And that was a perfect example of that.
Mhm.
Like here we are thinking that we're doing something to, do like a corporate work of mercy, corporal work of mercy, helping the poor. And right there, God shows up through this blind man who just happened to be volunteering that day to get us this amazing experience for
Yeah.
our whole family that would have probably been a lot for us to be able to afford at the
It's
time.
who you know, not what you know.
And that man really stands out to me too. He was really amazing, had an incredible testimony, and I was just so amazed seeing this blind man. He was just like cutting the onions, which is
Yeah.
funny because like I
It
mean,
hurts
a lot
your
of people
eyes
don't
to
want to
cut
cut the
onions.
onions because it hurts your eyes. But he's just like sitting there, like it looks as if he's just looking around talking to us, and his hands are like just going ham on this onion with a knife. And I'm like,
You're
wow,
like,
this
"Don't
is
cut your finger
incredible.
off."
Yes. Yeah. But also something that stood out to me on that trip is the sisters were actually caretaking for like a foster child at the time whose mom was like in rehab and just really going through a hard time. And I think that really touched us girls' hearts because Sienna had stayed back. She was really young. She had stayed back with one of our family friends. And so we were all kind of missing her, but this little boy was exactly like the same age as her.
Yeah.
And so that really touched my heart. And we prayed for that young kid for like, I feel like sometimes have him in our night prayers. Yeah. His name's Jonah. And I still wonder like where he ended up now. But like,
Yeah.
we literally had talked to those sisters and we were like, well, if his mom like unfortunately
Doesn't
wasn't
take him
able to
back.
recover or anything, like please let us know. And like we were seriously considering like if we could like adopt him into our family. And even if we didn't physically adopt him, I feel like we did spiritually
Yeah,
adopt him into our family
sure.
because we have carried him in our hearts for that many years.
That's so
So I
wild
think
to
that
think
was
about
really-
that. Like he doesn't even know that we've prayed for him for all this time. Like I wonder
Yeah.
if that's helped him in any way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even think we have to wonder. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no way that it couldn't have
Yeah.
affected him, and also not many people have the experience of having the Missionaries of Charity like
caring
step
for
in
them.
as foster
Oh
parents.
my gosh. Yeah. He's probably like
So-
he's probably gonna be a saint. He's probably like a
Yeah.
priest or something.
He's being
No,
prayed
not.
for by
He's
a
only
lot
11.
of holy people. Yeah.
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 That's beautiful.
It's just that was an incredible trip. We could go on and on, but those
we
are the
also
things that really
we also
stood out.
got to go in the limo. That was also stood out. That was pretty
Wait,
cool.
what
Yes.
What was
limo?
that?
It was like an Uber type of thing.
It was a huge Uber deal. It was a limo though. I just
never
remember
thought
getting
about
in it.
that.
Yeah. Wait,
Yeah,
what
I
did
thought
you
it was
guys
so
go
Oh,
to?
that was
cool.
from the Chicago Bulls game, wasn't it?
I think
After
It was
we
some.
went
Oh
and had like
no.
deep dish pizza.
Yes,
Yeah,
that
it
was
was
at
after
the
deep dish pizza.
Oh yeah.
That was so fun. I literally
Forgot
thought
about
like
that.
it was so cool. I was like, we must be rich to be able to go ride in this limo for like 5 minutes. How cool.
It's actually the blind man got us another set of
Probably.
tickets with the limo. He
It was
like pulled the limo
probably,
up.
yeah, the Holy Spirit himself just sent that to
Our
us. That's what we kept thinking. I mean, it was a very, like, you could tell that the
Blessed
hand of
trip.
God was
Yeah.
with us on that
Yeah,
trip,
absolutely.
100%.
It makes me like not want to take phones on every trip I go on and just see what happens because I feel like there's so many things.
Yeah.
Okay, just side note, we will link this in the show notes below. But Brick, have you guys ever heard of Brick? Like bricking your phone? I
No.
started doing this. I just posted it on my story like an hour ago, but I started doing it where like it's like a magnet, a little square magnet you put on the fridge and you can just scan it to like brick your phone and it blocks you out of all your social media apps. And I've been doing it like in the evenings and mornings, and it has like changed everything for me. And I feel like my mindset when I don't, it's not like the first thing I go to is like I'm so much more peaceful, more observant, I'm happier. There's like a direct correlation between how much time I spend on social media and my happiness, and it's crazy. Like you don't realize it till you take that away. And so I recommend Brick if you are also struggling with like creating social media boundaries for Lent. That would be a great thing to do.
I was gonna ask, where did everybody place the Holy Land on their list?
I had number 2.
I did number
Number 1.
2.
Mine
3.
isn't on there.
Ooh,
Really?
Grace, yours is number 1.
Yeah.
Let's hear.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like I just have like so many good memories from that trip. Like, and we were over lunch today, we were looking back on some of the pictures and like just the amount of memories that I had kind of forgotten about from that trip. And
Yeah.
that was
I had-
also my first time ever going out of the country. So I feel like that was like a big deal. And
Yeah.
there's just so many like funny things that happened on that trip. Like it was such a like heavy trip in the sense of there was so much like walking in the footsteps of Jesus. Like there was a lot to take in there, but there was also such a like just lightheartedness and fun to that trip too.
Yeah.
That it was just like, yeah, it was a great trip.
It was.
Yeah, I agree.
I just want to add because I had it as my second. I was debating between it and Florida because I feel like they're kind of like interchangeable for top for me, but for very different reasons. I think the reason I loved the trip to the Holy Land so much, first of all, we got to see some really great like some of the oh my goodness, 7 wonders of the world. We saw 2 of them, right? On that
Petra.
trip. Petra,
The other
and then was it just Petra?
I think it was
Okay.
just
Why
Petra.
is the Dead Sea isn't one, is it? Okay, well the
But
Dead
the
Sea
Dead
was
Sea was
also like a
cool.
bucket list item,
Yeah.
I guess.
Mm.
But like those were really cool things. But I think like walking in Jesus's steps and it just has really brought the gospels to life for me ever since. Like every time that I hear the gospel or I'm reading the gospel, I'm like able to envision like Capernaum for some reason just like really stood out to me. It like I just had like a surreal experience in Capernaum.
I remember
And
you getting
I think
really
it was
emotional there too.
I was very emotional there and I think it was because like Jesus like spent most of his life there. Like that was like his childhood into his adulthood living there in Capernaum and you can see literally where he laid his head at night. Like they have it preserved there underneath the church and you can like go into the church has like a glass floor so you can like see down into it and it's like right there you can see geographically how close it is to like the Sea of Galilee and just like putting all of like the geographical components together for me has really just brought the gospels to life. And I can always like whenever like during the consecration of the Eucharist, I just like I get brought back into the upper room and like feeling as if like I know the upper they say it's obviously not the same room, it's in that same like area. Just to know like what it felt like to like be there and like think and just really visualize and have like a whole different like out of body experience of like what is happening in that moment when the consecration of the Eucharist takes place. So I think just because that trip has lived on in memory for me, like on a regular basis, that's why it ranks so high for me.
Yeah,
It's
I
funny you
also
say
put
that.
it.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I also put number 2, but I was kind of in between 1 and 2 as well. It was just such a unique trip. I think the only reason it lost points for me was because I like literally starved myself the whole time we were there because I just was scared to like try food that I wasn't used to, which I think
And
it'd
they
be
served us
completely
the
different
same
now.
food.
But
We were there with
yeah,
like a tour guide or a tour group, and like every single meal we had was the exact same
yeah,
buffet
it was
style of
like
food. It was like did not deviate, maybe by a few items. I don't know.
stuff like
It
jumbled
seemed like it was
together.
the
You didn't
same.
know what you were eating. It
So
was
much
interesting.
hummus.
Well, and I think we're not really buffet people to begin with anyway. And
Yeah.
then the meats were not identified. Like I feel like
Yeah.
if I would have known what kind of meat it was, that would have helped me a lot.
It
Yeah,
like freaks
yeah.
you
You
out
know?
not knowing
Like, is
where
it
it's from.
Yeah.
horse? Yeah.
Horse? Is it
Who
chicken?
knows?
Is it cat?
Maybe that helped like connect us to God more on that trip because we were literally like unintentionally fasting the whole entire time.
Literally, yeah.
I remember
Bread and water.
so
Yeah.
vividly. We went to Nazareth and we stayed at that hotel in Nazareth, and there was a McDonald's that was like right at the entrance of the hotel, and Grace like smashed a Big Mac. She got this like huge Big Mac. It was like the size of her face, and she like ate the whole
There's a
thing.
picture of that.
Yeah.
We
Pull
were
it up, Grace.
we were looking at the picture of that today. I was like, yeah, that was like one of the only things I feel like I ate on that trip.
Yes.
It was
I
so
think
good,
we're
yeah.
gonna have to tag your blog post that you made back
The one,
then.
yeah. Okay, that's where I saw it. I was like, why did I just see this picture come up? But it was because who sent that blog?
I
Was that
sent
Dad?
it because Dad has
Oh,
it
yeah, for you.
like he has it continually
Bookmarked?
open in his phone. Yeah, bookmark.
What?
Oh,
And
cute.
so we were looking
So
at it over
cute.
lunch. Yeah,
Love that.
that's the Big Mac.
There it
That's
is.
so funny. I love it.
Yeah,
I
we should
also
link
have
to the blog post.
I also have to add, I loved everything that Faith said, and I totally agree. It was just so unique. I think that at my age I think I was a freshman in high school at the time. So the only thing I think between not eating and then not sleeping great, it was hard to like continue listening to like all the history lessons. So that's kind of where I struggled. But something that was like all of the emotional experience of it really stuck. But another thing that we did there was we went to this
Orphanage.
orphanage. We went to an orphanage, and it was just like, yeah, such a beautiful and emotional experience to hear the story. It was these sisters with these children that had been basically abandoned. Nobody really knew that these kids existed. So a lot of them also were conceived in incest or different or like rape situations. So these kids, a lot of them had deformities, and it was just really sad to hear their story, but it was also so beautiful to get to spend that time with them and be somebody to love on them. So that really stuck with me.
Yeah, I feel like we should add a little bit of background there as to like why those kids didn't have much of an identity. It was really tragic, I think, with their culture there. If people like have kids out of wedlock, it's like they can get like basically disowned from their families and shunned out, and that's a really scary thing for them there, just with some of the oppression
unrest.
and political unrest. And so a lot of these people who would unfortunately conceive from like incest and rape situations, then they would have to like hide their pregnancy. And basically these sisters would secretly deliver the
Deliver the
babies.
baby.
Yep. And then because they were born like in secrecy and in this like unfortunate situation, then they actually become like wards of the state. And so the sisters raised them until what was the age? Like
Five.
6?
5 or 6.
Oh, was it
Six.
I think
and
it
then
was 6.
yeah.
And then the sisters don't get to see them after that. And they basically just serve the country, and they are orphans for life. And it's
Yeah,
just
they never
so
have
tragic.
They never have an identity, so
Identity.
they can never work like higher than basically like serve the state however they want them to.
Yeah, so they have been in our family prayers ever since then too, because it's just so sad to see those kids in a situation where it's not even an option for them to be adopted into any family or really get out of the situation they were born into.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was in Bethlehem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was very, very moving. And I don't think I really understood the whole gravity of that situation when we were there because they were explaining it to us. And it was almost like, wait, that can't be true. Like, there's no way they just let these kids, like they don't take care of them. But it is. It's like so sad. Like, other cultures are just so different. And yeah, it makes you feel very blessed to live where we live, honestly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I also remember on that trip, that was my number 3 on that trip. People thought we were in Jordan first, and then we went to Israel. We had to go through like the checkpoint
Oh.
to get from one country to the other. And we were crossing, and everybody, when we were on this trip, everybody thought Faith was a princess because she had this like blonde hair, and blonde hair is like so rare there because they all have dark curly hair like I do.
Yeah,
And
literally
so
people would like stop in the street and like roll down their windows and like honk at me because they thought I was, yeah, and they were saying princess in their language. And it was really kind of scary. Like we literally had to have like a bodyguard with us the whole time.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so it was like it was kind of scary. Like I was just like, I don't know, I didn't know how to react.
Yeah. Well, then, okay, so we're crossing this checkpoint, and me, on the other hand, everybody gets to go past from Jordan to Israel except for me. And they stop me and they're like, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "USA, Nebraska." And they're like, "Point to it on a map," because they thought that I was like an Israeli girl that was just like trying to move across from Jordan to
That
Israel,
is
I guess.
crazy.
So they like stopped us and they made me point on a map. Like they like pulled up the map of the United States on their computer and they made me point to where I'm from. And I was like the only one that hadn't crossed yet. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then these people came out with like machine guns. Do you guys remember that? They did like
Yes.
a drill.
It was terrifying.
And we were all like, what is going on? But everything was fine. They were like smiling when they were doing it.
But your
Or do
hair
you
was
guys
also
remember-
dyed black at the time, too.
Yeah, my hair
so
was
that probably
black
didn't
at the
help.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Syria was on the other side of the Sea of Galilee, and I remember like there like I mean it's always been kind of scary, but there was some major political things happening at the time. And then they like raised the American flag up in the air and we're all just like they were like
On our
what
boat.
did they said
No,
something
they
and I just-
played the national anthem too. It
Yes,
was
they
like
played the
it was
national anthem and they were
Christmas, so
like
it was like Santa
They're
and like the
like,
national
"Turn it
anthem.
off."
yeah, they basically said like they're like we don't go very close to that side of the coast because that's where Syria is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we could hear gunshots. And so we're like, should we be playing the national anthem? Like, I don't
Yeah, that
know.
was scary.
Yeah, I
It
will
was
say
also
on
we
that
were there
trip-
over Christmas. And so they had some really it was really interesting how they like
Yeah.
showed some of the like American culture through like the
Yeah.
Christmas time there with like a Christmas tree and they had some like Santa Claus and stuff. But it's just because tourism is so important there for their economy.
Yeah, and there's still a few Christians there, but not many.
And I was gonna say, bouncing off that, I felt safe. Like besides those like couple situations where
Yeah.
it was just like kind of like, oh, this is interesting. I felt safe the rest of the time that we
Yeah.
were there.
I feel like for me there was like an underlying feeling of anxiety the whole time. Did anybody else feel like that? I feel like Felicity, I remember you feeling anxious too.
I
Maybe
can't
not.
honestly remember. I just remember I was like hungry. I don't know
She was
if I was.
hungry.
she was
I was anxious because I was like, when am I going to get my next meal? Every buffet, I would like stock up on apples and bananas for the day because I was like, this is the
And
only thing I
toast.
recognize.
Toast.
Yeah,
But
it'd
you
be
ate a lot of
bread
bread.
and fruit. That was it.
I remember we went to like a gas station, like an Israeli gas station, and got like Pringles, and like I think one of us ate like the whole can of Pringles.
Probably.
I think I had some anxiety just having all my girls. You know what I mean? At least dad was there with us. But just, I mean, you're in
Yeah.
an unfamiliar country. There's a little bit of it's anxiety provoking.
I think something that did bring a lot of anxiety. I don't think I think I was doing pretty well for a lot of it, but then when we got to Bethlehem and that's where they had like the booming like prayer call to prayer going like at a certain time the call to prayer for like the Muslims was happening and it like literally is booming through the whole city. Like it doesn't even sound like it's coming from like speakers, but it has to be. Yeah, it totally has to be, but it just like sounds like this like booming like sound and I for some reason that just like really shook me. I was like, what is happening? Like you don't understand the language. It just
That made me
feels
anxious.
very
Yeah.
it just feels really like different than what we were used to.
Mhm.
I think that made me it was interesting, but
Yeah.
for some reason it made me uncomfortable.
Definitely interesting because I would have never ever experienced that otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved experiencing the culture there. I thought even like going through the Paris airport, like we went through Charles de Gaulle airport, and even just like going to different airports and seeing different places gives me so much life. And that was so fun to do as a family. I would love to do another international trip again.
I would too.
agree.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Okay, anybody have any other ones that we have not mentioned?
Yeah, I was going to say any honorable mentions. I think that one.
Yes.
I have a couple.
Yeah, we haven't talked anything about steamboat trips.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I was
And
gonna
I
bring
think
up.
that's like a lot of core memories for me growing up. Like we went there a lot, so I feel like they kind of blur together. I don't know that one specifically stands out. Maybe the York Patty incident, Noelle. Maybe you could share that one. Just kidding. Don't do the York Patty. Well, no, the main thing was that it got chucked up into the air and we were in this.
That wasn't the main thing.
Well, I mean, that, okay. I think I'll just share
I don't
that
even
part.
know that I know this one.
Well, I don't feel like that. Well, the fact that it got to the 3rd story window that nobody's ever going to be able to get it down from.
Okay,
And so who knows if it's still there? It could still be there to this day.
see, that's not what I was thinking of, but that's okay.
Okay, well, forget it.
But Colorado trips, I feel like we had a bunch of them. We went to Colorado a lot when we were younger because it's close to Nebraska, so it was like easy to drive there. And I have a lot of good memories in like Estes Park for a family reunion when we were younger. We went a couple times.
Yeah, steamboats.
Skiing.
Steamboat is number 2 on my list for family vacations.
And what in particular about that?
I don't know. I feel like there's just like so many memories in general. I think it's just the tie to Colorado. And like those were the trips where we were like all together, and just the activity side of things was fun, like the skiing, but then also just the like cozy time in the cabin, playing games, or going out and exploring the little like ski town. And I don't know, I just have a lot of good memories. And even the road trip like out there and back was super fun.
Yeah.
So I think all of it just together is a good memory.
Remember, on the way back from our trips to Colorado when we were younger, Dad would get out the digital camera on the way home because Mom would sleep in the passenger seat with her mouth wide open.
Always. Always.
We've got to find
Noelle.
the picture.
We are
Right
not attaching
There
that.
was like a string of like saliva like between her lips.
No, we're not doing that.
And Dad would like snap a picture of the digital camera.
That's funny. I think because I ranked Steamboat too, and I think a lot of my memories come from like the actual skiing side of things.
Yeah.
But also, like, I feel like as kids, for some reason, you have like no fear when you're skiing, and so I think
did. It's just you and-
specifically me
yeah,
and
it's just you
Grace
and Grace.
would like fly down the mountain. Like we would get so much skiing in, and I like it didn't even face me. We'd be doing like double black diamonds and like not even thinking about
No.
it. And
I
now,
don't do double black diamonds. when
black?
we were little.
Yeah, what?
okay,
That was so dramatic.
Robbie's
actually
just
did do
getting to
black.
that level.
I know
Not
we
the double
totally
black
did.
diamond.
guys,
It's a
we
double
actually
black
we did like
diamond.
moguls and stuff, and now I look at that stuff and I'm like, there's no way I would die. Like I can't do that. Like I feel like now that I'm what?
I don't think Dad would let you guys go down a black.
No,
They
we
did,
d-
they
we
did,
seriously
like, probably
did.
black.
But probably not double black diamond.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay, but whatever ones, forget it. What, guys? I'm not making this up. I remember doing like
the next level of drama.
no, I actually do remember because when you go down those like specific trails, like there's no other option besides some really hard black.
Like a double
Like,
black diamond.
You get to a point where like there's only blacks that are options, and it's
I thought
like,
it was,
all right, well,
blues.
we're just gonna go for it.
I thought
but
it
they're
was, like,
shorter.
blues you go down, and then there's like a blue/black that like.
No,
is-
there's
there
actual
were some
blacks, but
blue
I would
blacks.
say the hard ones were like really short, hard blacks, you know, and then you go back to a blue. But anyways, they were hard because we had literally did moguls and stuff, and we were just flying everywhere, no fear at all. We would do
Straight down.
trails and everything. Like I specifically remember we did this one trail that had like a major ramp. And I got some like major air, but then I didn't realize because you can't see when you're going up
Yeah,
that
what's
ramp
up
that
with
like
behind
it
it.
splits into 2 separate trails, and I was right smack in between the 2 trails.
Oh my
So I
God.
landed and I ran into this tree. But luckily, the tree must get run into a lot because it was padded.
Okay.
So I was okay, but like that could have been really bad.
Let's get an instant.
This is the
replay of
first
that.
I've heard of it.
I know we didn't tell you a lot of these.
Yeah, well, and I think that was the other part about skiing that I liked was that like with how young we were, it was like we could have independence where Faith and I would just like go off
off
and we'd
on
like
your
have a
own.
meeting point with like Dad or one of our Amy Biker, like a family friend that we would like meet up with at a certain point. But it was kind of like, okay, like do your thing and we'll meet here. So it was just like being that young, the two of us just like going on an adventure together and like
Meanwhile, it's me at
It
the
just-
top, like pizzaing the whole way down, like so clear in my mind, going down the
Different
greens as
experience
slow as I
than
can.
that's a
I'm
good
like-
part of the memory of it all too, though.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm stuck in ski school, so I was like, way far behind everybody.
Okay, should we go into and say our worst or our least favorite quick? We're gonna have to leave here shortly. So, who wants to start with their least favorite family vacation and why?
I can't even think of one, to be honest. So,
Okay, I'll tell you mine.
okay.
My least favorite was Arizona, and there's
Really?
reasons behind that. Felicity was not there. Felicity and Owen were not there, so that was sad. Number one, I was pregnant with Elliot, and I was very pregnant with Elliot, like 7 months pregnant with him, 6 or 7 months. Adelaide was 15 months old, and she was not sleeping through the night. And she actually had a dairy intolerance that we had not figured out yet. So she was up in the nighttime the entire trip, probably every 30 minutes, screaming her head off. And because we didn't know she had a dairy intolerance, we're like, maybe she's hungry. So we were giving her dairy, like vitamin D milk, like full whole milk. That was like harming her tummy even more, but we didn't know it. So it was just like exacerbating the problem. But being pregnant, exhausted was not fun. I would say that trip overall, like I loved the experience of going there and like our family staying at the Airbnb together. But like my personal experience was just not great at all. Like when you don't get sleep, things are just so much less fun.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I will say we were in an Uber on the way back with mom and dad, me, Austin, and mom and dad. And there's this really strange man that we weren't sure if he was going to drive us back to our Airbnb or not. Do you remember that, Mom?
Yes, I do. That was odd. That was quite the experience.
He played I don't know if I should share this. Should I share what he played on the video?
I don't specifically remember, to be
Okay,
honest.
well, we can
with
cut it
you.
out if you don't think so. But he literally pulled up a YouTube video as we're getting into his like rickety car. It was like falling apart. It was like a very old car, like rusty, whatever. But that didn't really matter. Like if we're getting from point A to point B, whatever. But we get in the car and the first thing this guy turns on is a YouTube video of this guy giving a talk about why everybody's on OnlyFans now and why it's like such
That
a
was weird.
weird thing for our culture. But he like played it for us. Like it was like we got into his car and he immediately was like, here's a video about OnlyFans. And Dad, Austin, Mom, and I were like,
What? Dad was probably like, get this off.
yeah,
He didn't even know
Yeah,
what.
he's like, I didn't know what it was.
Okay. True.
It was bizarre. Like I just remember being a little terrified in the car ride on the way home.
That's weird.
But
that
do
reason,
you
that was-
remember the car that drove itself?
Yeah, that was cool.
That was another experience.
Austin loved that.
The Waymo.
Yeah.
And then there was something else I was going to say that was super memorable about that trip, but I'm going to have to think about it because I can't remember what it was. Give me a minute. Anybody else?
I'm trying to think.
There was something that I was like, oh yeah,
I just remember playing a lot of ping pong in the
that's what
garage.
it was.
No, not ping
Okay,
pong.
Sienna just reminded me. What?
I thought it was air hockey.
It was.
They were both.
Yeah, it was both.
Oh.
But the part that I was going to say that Sienna reminded me of was the swim trunks. Remember
Yeah,
the
you
swim?
guys did that.
We did a prank for the guys where we gave them all the same pair of swim trunks, but they were disappearing swim trunks. So, and I got some heat for this video on Instagram because when they got in the water, they like disintegrated, so they had nothing to cover.
Well, they were covered up. It
Underwear
just
on, I hope.
Yeah, they did.
well,
have
and
underwear.
the seams disintegrated, but the material was still there. So it was kind of like wearing sackcloth or whatever.
yeah,
like,
Yeah,
so
you could-
it wasn't.
it
You
wasn't,
couldn't
like,
see
exposing
anything.
them or anything.
No,
The
but
video
it was
like,
just.
how could you do this with children around? That was like all the comments, and I was like, wait, I mean, you have a point there, but I didn't really think about that till after.
Well, there was like one child, and she was like
15
a
years
year.
old.
You know what I mean? So
She didn't know what was going
I don't know. I guess Sienna was there too, but I don't know.
Yes.
It was funny. It was really, really funny.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Okay. any
So,
other-
okay, I think a fun segment before we wrap up here would be like if each one of us can share where we would propose our next family trip to be.
I have one. I really want to go to Nashville.
I saw you guys sent that text about booking stuff
Yeah.
between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
I would love to do that.
I think Nashville would be fun, but I think that an all-inclusive like beach trip would be like so ideal with just the stage of life that everyone's in, where we could like just everyone buys their flight, gets the resort tickets, and then we just show up and don't really have to plan much. And then there's also not the pressure of like what we're gonna do when we're there, or like who's gonna make the food or the grocery shopping. Like it would just be so laid back and relaxing for everyone, and
Yeah.
like something for all ages to do.
I completely second that. And I feel like as a parent, that makes it like so much more relaxing because then you don't have to worry about like who's going to watch our kids. Like, no, we can just take them and they can play and we can still relax. Yeah, that's
I'm
huge.
gonna-
I love that.
I'm gonna third that, but with a twist. I'm gonna say a cruise would be fun. I've never been on a cruise, but I feel like it would be fun to like we could all be in the same like area still, kind of like an all inclusive, but it would be fun to like go and travel and see like different beaches and have the cruise ship take you around different places.
Yeah, it would.
Oh, what?
I just said, yeah, that would be.
Plus, the kids and I watched a Blippi episode about a Disney cruise, and it looked so much fun. So that's why I said that.
Disney
I could see a
cruises are
Disney cruise.
so expensive, though.
Disney
They're
cruises are?
so expensive.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, well, forget that.
Like
Maybe I'll get a
insane.
partnership with them, Disney. If you're
Yeah.
Yeah,
listening.
maybe it could be our first room for more business trip.
With Disney. Wow, that's so low key.
Felicity, what was yours?
Mine, that's what I was saying. I agree with Grace. I would say like an all-inclusive. I just want to go back since our honeymoon. I'm like, that was the best vacation literally ever because it's so relaxing. You just have so much time to, honestly, you don't want your phone because you're like just in the outdoors enjoying everything, but you also are like, because you don't have the stress of planning anything, you can relax and enjoy the company of each other, which is huge too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think it would be really fun. That was actually what mine was going to be too. Like maybe like in the DR or I don't know. I've been to Costa Rica before, which I don't know if they have all inclusives, but I loved Costa Rica. Every single
Yeah.
thing about it. The culture, like it's a safe place where you can like be part of the culture too. So I don't know. That might be more of in a different stage of life when we can do that more. Or you guys just went to Belize. Belize is another area that I'd
We
love
love
to go
Belize,
to.
but it's more adult.
But yeah, I love to experience culture. So if it was maybe like 5-10 years down the road, that would be my preference. But I agree with Felicity and Grace and Noelle. I think like something like cruise-ish or just like some beach vacation that we just get to enjoy the all-inclusive side of things would be incredible in the
Toes
season
in
of
the
life.
water. Finish it off. Okay, well, let's finish this up. We're going to just wrap it up with our favorite things. We'll do rapid fire favorite things and then what we're making room for this week. We can kind of probably do them all in one, like everybody responds with their favorite thing and then what they're making room for. So, who would like to start? Anybody know?
It's my favorite thing.
Okay, I'll go. My thing for this week is the brick, like I talked about before. I am absolutely loving that for like blocking my apps and just like giving me my time back with my kids and more like presence of mind and peace of mind. So love the brick, highly recommend. I think it's like $50, but to me it's like so worth it for the time that you get back with your people and just like peace of mind. So I would say that's my favorite thing. What I'm making room for this week is fun and celebration. We are going to New York City this week, Lord willing, because the weather is like so messed up. I mean, it's like snowing there. What did it say? 12 to
2
14
feet of
inches?
snow.
Yeah.
17
Yeah,
to
we'll see.
24.
I don't know how accurate my app is either.
Yeah, I hope our trip doesn't get canceled, but as long as it doesn't, I'm making room for fun this week because I think that's just going to be such a blast to have a little getaway.
My favorite thing is this new diffuser I got and kind of some different curly girl hair things. So that is my favorite thing. What I'm making room for is travel.
My favorite things this week are a couple weeks ago we made some Indian food at home and it was so good and we're gonna make it again this week and I'm super excited about it because it literally tastes like the restaurant. So super excited about that. And this week I'm making room for just trust in my body. I think I had talked about in the past just having like some hormone struggles. So I've just been super anxious and worried that something is like terribly wrong. And actually Grace was talking to me a couple days ago about like just like giving yourself, and Noelle, she brought this up when we were with you too, but like positive affirmations about like my body is healing instead of constantly telling yourself like I'm really sick or like I need to be fixed. Instead of saying that, like just surrendering it to God and yeah, telling myself that I'm healing and I'm getting better. And yeah, so just allowing that emotion to be flowing through my body instead of like, I trust that God is taking care of me and not being anxiously on ChatGPT 4+ hours a day or whatever. So taking a step back from that.
4+ hours? Holy cow.
Not 4+ hours, probably 1+ hours.
Wow,
Too
wait, that's
much.
a lot still.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been obsessive. So I need to just like, yeah, trust God and trust my body.
My favorite thing this week is every time that I come home to visit mom and dad, I love using all of Mom's skincare products. And I love trying out some of Trinity's like new makeup products because she always has like the cool stuff. She knows what all the cool kids are trying out. So my favorite thing this week since coming home is she has this eyebrow product. Trinity does. It's like the REFY. Is it Refi? Is that how you say it? I had never heard or
I'm not
Refi,
sure.
something like that brand, and they have this eyebrow product. I'll have Mom link it on this podcast, but it's basically like laminates your brows. It's like kind of like a glue type of thing. It looks white in the tube, but then when you put it on, it's completely clear. I kind of want to get some for myself now. I love it. And then what I'm making room for this week is patience for myself. I think that I need to have patience for myself and with myself. Just this past week specifically, I've just noticed I'm kind of having a hard time like figuring out like who I am in this new season of life. Just like kind of some grieving who I was before becoming a mom and recognizing that like I will never be her again, but like just learning to love the new me and learn more about the new me. And I'm really looking forward to our trip to New York because I just think in this season of and just in the trenches of being a new mom, it's just really hard to prioritize yourself and figure those things out about yourself because you just naturally don't prioritize yourself when you're living for other people. But I think just like having patience with that and learning more about myself as I step a little bit away from motherhood and into prioritizing myself for once since having my sweet little boy.
Me too.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I would say my favorite thing, Mom's gonna laugh at me for this, but here, actually, I'll go get it. 1 second.
What is it?
I don't know. I've been teasing her about this.
You can tell I love a warm drink because I feel like that's always what my favorite thing is. But okay, this cute little supplement health food grocery store in Lincoln called Red Clover. One of the gals that works there got me hooked on this last winter. It's moringa hot chocolate. Just very like nutrient dense, very yummy. It's really good if you mix it with bone broth because it gives it like a little bit of like saltiness with the chocolate. And yeah, just a good like little treat after dinner at night because I always think that I need chocolate. So yeah, it's really good. Yeah, just a cozy little drink to have in the winter. So yeah,
Love that.
that's my favorite thing. And then making room for adventure this week with, like everyone said, going to New York and traveling. And yeah, just really looking forward to that.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. We had a great time on this podcast, and we will talk to you next week.
Peace out.
Bye.
Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Hey guys, have fun at your birthday party.
That was today's conversation, and now it's your turn.
Who can you make room for this week?
Who might need an invitation, a listening ear, or a seat at your table?
It doesn't have to be perfect, just open.
We'll be back next time, gathered again with stories, faith, and family. Until then,
Pull up a chair and follow us on Instagram at Room for More Podcast. There is always one more seat at the table.